safety glasses, long sleeve shirt, pants and shoes, gloves.
Alright, so some of the things you're going to need before getting started. I'd recommend getting a small Phillips head screwdriver. You'll be needing that for certain things. This one I really suggest getting a bit adjustable screwdriver. These are really, really handy for a lot of different things. I would recommend staying away from Allen keys or Allen wrenches if you can, because these are really a hassle to deal with once you get involved with these. If you can get these would be much better. They're hex sets. What you would be wanting to look for is a set that's got M2, M3, M4, M5. Preferably is the ones I usually use. They usually come with a large set of different ones. Also, what I would recommend is getting one of these. It's just basically an extender. So you put it in, can help you increase the reach on certain things. Really handy. Alright.
I don't recommend using a drill because if you tighten too much, it will start to break up the drywall, which in turn will loosen the screw and make the dinosaur fall on the floor. To avoid injuries, stay at least around 18 inches away from the skeleton when assembling it. Do not stand directly underneath it to avoid injuries. You'll see in the pictures, the one on the left with the X is the way not to stand underneath. The one on the right you'll see is that I'm standing slightly away from it while I'm assembling it, so I'm not standing directly underneath. I just want to give you a brief close-up to show you how it's going to be done. Just take your time. Once it feels tight, then what you just want to do is kind of like push it a little, and once you've seen that it's tight enough, then you're good. If it's not, do it just a little bit more. Just make sure you don't over tighten the drywall. So to help with the guide, one other thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is when you are turning and it feels tight, then just double check to make sure it actually is tight and secured into the wall. If it feels secure and you're not getting any wobble, then you probably are good with where it's at. If you do feel a little bit of play, then keep tightening until you don't feel play. If you do continue to feel play after you've tightened it as much as you can, then I do not advise putting this up. What you're probably going to have to do is you're going to have to get drywall anchors, and that's going to be beyond the scope of this video. You would have to look up some additional stuff later on your own.
Safety and usage disclaimer. These 3D printed models are not toys and are not intended for children. Recommended for ages 14 and up. Keep out of the reach of children. Models may contain sharp and pointy parts, such as ribs, teeth, and claws. Use safety glasses, gloves, long sleeves, and proper footwear when assembling. Do not place in high traffic areas such as hallways or areas where people walk directly underneath. Avoid placing behind couches or other seating areas where falls could cause injury. The creator assumes no responsibility for injuries or damages resulting from the use or misuse of these models. This includes damages to property, such as televisions or other items that may occur if the model falls. Also, in addition, during the assembly process, 3D printed parts should be placed in a box or out of the way where they are not on the floor, where anyone can trip on them, step on them, or fall on them. This could cause serious injury. Spark Printing 3D will not be held responsible or liable for any damages or injuries occurred during the assembly process.
Okay, this is the guide for the leg, and the same concept will apply for the Spinosaurus, T-Rex, and Velociraptor. So you're going to want to grab both parts, and so this guide will cover the bed size for the 220, 300 millimeter, and 400 millimeter size. Your bolt size will depend on the version you get. So across the board for the 220 millimeter bed size versions, you're going to use M4 bolts 35 millimeters long. For the other two sizes, for the 300 and 400 millimeter bed size, you're going to use M5 bolts 50 millimeters long. Okay, so let's get started. I already pre-did one, so what you're just going to want to make sure is you got your safety glasses, your gloves, and then let's get started. Okay, so one other key point here. So I went too quick again when I did this one. And if you go too quick, you have a high chance of cracking the plastic. To avoid this, make sure you go slow. All right. And once you've threaded it through, what I just like to do to make it easier before I start doing the whole part connecting them together is I just like to grab the foot, pre-thread them slightly by just putting them in. It doesn't need to be more than maybe 10 turns, a little bit more than that if you want, just so it makes it easier when you try to connect them together. And since I've done it for both, I'm just gonna show you how to finish it up, because I've already done this multiple times, so they've been pre-threaded. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is it should just want to sit right on top of the foot. All right, so let me see if I can show it a little bit better. So you're going to want to make sure it just sits right on top of the foot. And then you just screw it in until it actually connects together. You don't want to go too tight, or else that could also cause it to crack. So just get both until they go till the end. And then there you go.